Okay, so I'm going to, I guess, compare and kind of show a history of the ukuleles I've played from the beginning to the current most advanced one, if you want to say. And then on a future video, I'm going to review the more advanced, nicest one so far. Um, so about 6 months ago or 8 months ago, I purchased my first ukulele, and I learned on it about as much as I could, really. What I mean by that is, I went to um, its limits, if you would say, for being an inexpensive ukulele very quickly. And I'll show you. So, here's my first one. I probably paid too much for it, but it's Mahalo Brown, which is about what you would give someone who, you would just, here's a gift from Hawaii or something like that, Or here's a cool little cute guitar. And bag matches and everything. It didn't actually match it. Came with this really inexpensive bag that protects it from pretty much just scrapes. So I bought this as like $25 and highly recommend it if you want to keep your nice ukulele not really well protected with a nice bag. And you like that one, who knows. But this is it. This is my Mahalo one. I picked up because star signs. I thought it was cool. And oh god, does it sound cheap. It's out of tune, obviously, because I haven't used it in a very long time. But I mean, this thing, it's horribly out of tune. It's almost nasty to listen to. So this is what I learned on. Yeah, I took it to the guy who sold it to me, who was also a luthier, and I said, God, it has horrible fret buzz. I mean, that's just all fret buzz. That like buzzy sound. Yeah. So I took it to him and he said, sure, I can fix it. He took it, and about a week later, he returned it to me and told me that he actually made it worse by trying to repair it. And so he said, here, please, give it back to me or something, or, here's another one. I said, no, I want to keep it. So, yeah. And I actually took a blue one that he had that he kind of forced on me, I guess you could say. And I gave it to my mom, and it's probably still in a closet. Who knows? Little gift. So, yeah, it's just painful to listen to this thing because it's so out of tune. It's cheap. I mean, it's what you get for, someone if you returned from a trip somewhere and you're like, hey, guess what? So yeah, obviously made in China, cheap. I paid probably twice of what I should have paid. I knew nothing about the instruments, so yeah. But hey, at least the case is cute. So then I bought this one as I was waiting for the other one to be repaired, and this one is about 3 times better than that one. And I bought this one because of the lower sound. It's still Hawaiian, but lower sound, not like super high pitched. Like it's a much nicer lower pitched sound to me. Had a cutaway, is kind of nice if you want to get up in here. And it was a nice ukulele, diamond head. Mahalo diamond head, pretty much same quality, I think. And so this has tone controls on it. It has a little connection in back output jack, battery compartment right here, and I mean, nice inside, good instrument to give someone if you're not looking at spending, hundreds of dollars on something. I think this was, again, about 120. I think I might have overspent for it too. Decent tuners. This was the ukulele that I experimented with a lot of strings on, and they might have the Darios on them. I don't know now. I definitely know it's out of tune. But this is also the ukulele that I had signed by Daniel Ho and Jake Shimabukuro. And I tried to get Jake to sign it like over here somewhere, like on the side, so I could practice. Because apparently, like you have your ukulele signed, and like you never played again or something. I'm like, no, no, this is my only ukulele that's decent. And so he signed it. I'm like, great. But I'm also really not wanting to give this away because it took a lot for me to get this signed both times. I carried the case in. I went to Jake's concert with my ukulele case and a bunch of other things that I had purchased I wanted signed. So it took a little bit of effort to actually have this thing signed. And that's why I'm not like, oh yeah, sure, just give it away or something. Plus, dude, it has his signature on it. He's like the best ukulele player in the world. Um, and so, yeah, that's this one. I liked it, but yeah, I mean, it's still like, you know, it's not that bad, but it's quiet compared to my new one. And I'll get my new one in just a second. So I'm gonna squeeze that between there. And yeah, so here's my new ukulele. It's an ox, and I'll do a review later on. So much louder, so much nicer sounding. I mean, yeah. And this one, it's my third, and I mean, I might buy more in the future because there's just so many different ones. Like there's 8-string tenors, there's 5-string tenors, there's baritones, there's concerts. If you want to go that high, approaching more of the soprano area of sound and size. But yeah, no cutaway on this one. But hey, and it still smells like the wood inside. Like smells, it's Engelmann spruce, and it's a very different smell than what I'm used to. So this one is so much better. I'm like, I don't want to have him. I don't want this thing to be signed anywhere, because it's like, oh no, it'll ruin everything. And I bought this shoulder strap because, again, I mean, I could do it like this, but I'd rather have a shoulder strap so I could just kind of let it hang and go, you know, play it like that. So these are my 3, and yeah, I don't think they'll be my last, but yeah. Is there a difference between a $50 ukulele and essentially the equivalent of a $1,000 ukulele? There's a huge difference. I mean, this thing sounds like, it sounds good. It sustains notes for a long time, and yeah, you do get what you pay for when you buy an expensive instrument over a cheap one. So yeah, be sure to watch my next video on the review of this little baby beauty, whatever. So yeah, check it out.